Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this guide for Fugue, I'll cover her best relics, light cones, team composition, rotations, pros and cons, and whether she's worth building. Sit back and relax, and if you find this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.
Do you have a character or light cone in the game that you really want, but you don't have enough StellarJades? Fortunately, lootbar.gg allows you to buy StellarJades at a discounted rate for all regions. Lootbar is one of the fastest and most reliable recharging platform with attractive discount rates. For an example, I will buy the 1980 StellarJade package for $26.40, which otherwise would have cost me $29.99, saving me a total of 20%, and also new users get an additional 5% off. To purchase, simply enter your UID and region and to receive your package in less than 30 minutes. All recharges are done through the official channel with miHoYo, which allows you to enjoy all top-up offers. Now you will be ready to get your favorite characters. Check the link in the description and pinned comment to get the amazing discounts.
For an overview, Fugue has the fire element and follows the path of nihility. She's mainly a break support unit, but she also works as a debuffer, where she's best in slot with Acheron now too. For Eidolons, I won't be putting in numbers anymore. E1 increases weakness break efficiency by 50% for an ally with Foxy and Prayer. Great for break units, but not a must. E2 is the better Eidolon as Fugue action forwards all allies by 24%. E4 gives 20% break effect to allies with Foxy and Prayer. E6 increases Fugue's own weakness break efficiency by 50% and all allies are considered as having Foxy and Prayer. Overall, I recommend players to stick with E0 S0. But for break teams, E1 is slightly better than S1 since breaking faster is generally better. E1 S1 is also great for break teams, but I would recommend her E2 instead with S0. For Acheron teams, going for her S1 doesn't really have much value at all since we have pearls for debuff application. Building Fugue. Body. Effect hit rate. If you're running tutorial S5, you could run any body piece with the best substats. Boots. Speed only. Aim for your desired speed break point. After that, focus on break effect until you have a total of 250% and some effect hit rate substat. How much effect hit rate do you truly need? With an effect hit rate body, you would have an 85.9% chance to reduce enemy defense on a 40% residential enemy. For those of you with bad relic luck, going for a total of 50% EHR is actually enough, but if you want you could still push it further. For the speed break points, going for 172 speed on Fugue is nice for Acheron, but not a must. For break teams, going for 160 speed is more than enough. 146 speed is the minimum you want to aim for due to pure fiction. Relic set, sadly, 4-piece ultimate effect relics like Watchmaker or Messenger will not work on Fugue as her ulti doesn't apply to allies. For both break and Acheron teams, going for 4-piece Thief is the best as Fugue still has energy issues. Or you could go with mixed sets with 32% break effect or 16% break effect plus 6% speed bonus. Running a 4-piece cavalry isn't that good as her own personal break damage is pretty low. Planar ornament. Rope. Energy regen only for 4-turn ultimates. Orb. Go for any main stat with the best substats as it wouldn't matter, but defensive or ATK % main stat is slightly preferred. You can run any of the planar sets I listed. Calpagni is best with Firefly, but not universal with other DPS units. Talia is the better option for Acheron, boothill, and rappa. Ageless, Broken Keel, and Sunken Sea are also really good with Acheron. You may also opt for Von Whack, but I don't really see a point with this relic set unless you have triple S tier substats on it. Moving on to her light cones. Last place, Fermata being the worst option. Now for the slightly better two options. Not gonna lie, this is only for those who have her E2 only. Due to the action forward ultimate where getting 3-turn ultimate is better. For those with an E0 Fugue, running Silverwolf or Solitary will get you 3-turn ultimate if you run 5% ER planar set bonus plus if you get hit twice and either kill 2 enemies or break enemies twice with the Thief set. Overall, Fugue's ultimate doesn't do much at all, hence 3-turn ultimate without her E2 is pretty much useless. Second place. Kafka, Jiaoqiu and Silverwolf Sig LC works really well with Acheron. Nothing much to really talk about. The MVP is the Pearls Lightcone. A great F2P option even if you have it at S1 as it scales well with break or standard DPS units plus, you don't really need that much relic investment on Fugue. First place, of course, it's Fugue SIG LC. Increases break effect by 60%. Applies charring debuff which increases break damage taken by 40%. Overall useless for Acheron teams, but pretty decent for break teams. Overall, I won't be putting in DPS numbers for Lightcones for Fugue. You can check out my other guides for more info. Players should just slap on Pearl's Lightcone for E0 Fugue. For those with E2, you may either run Pearl's Energy Regen Lightcones or her SIG LC depending on your preference. For her team composition and rotations. For E0 Acheron players, this is her new best team. Acheron's average MOC clear will be shortened down to 2 to 3 cycles instead of 4. Running Aventurine is preferred, as you want to use Fugue's skill on Aventurine, which will give Acheron even more debuff applications. Gallagher would be the second best, but you may also run other preservation units too, as for some MOC stages, Gallagher's sustain output may not be enough. For both Rappa and boothill, pulling for Fugue is a must, as they don't need Harmony MC at all. This will make boothill easier to play, but he would still be at double S tier as he can't be used in pure fiction. For Rappa, it's pretty insane as Fugue literally buffs her up to triple S tier where she's equal or slightly better compared to Firefly, due to Fugue removing all of Rappa's weaknesses. For Firefly teams, you really don't need Fugue as replacing HMC will pretty much not affect your cycle clears at all, though she can be slightly better than HMC. You can also replace Fugue with Wan Mei. Even though Fugue is slightly weaker than Wan Mei, it wouldn't affect your cycle clears, but without the 10% speed bonus buff from Wan Mei, you will need much heavier relic investment across your team, which may not be ideal for most players who aren't min-maxers. You may also run Lingsha as the main DPS unit. This team composition is pretty insane due to the EXO application of Fugue, where HMC will be dealing even more DPS. Pros: triple S tier for Rappa, double S tier for both Acheron and boothill. Easiest unit to build. Best unit to pull for if you don't have other 5-star units like Silverwolf for Acheron. Signature Lightcone isn't needed. Her animations are gorgeous. Cons: not a must to pull unless you have Rappa. Ultimate isn't useful unless you have her E2. Unnecessary for Firefly mains as there's no cycle clear difference. Not a must to pull for Acheron and boothill as they already have a ton of units that work well with them. Should you pull? If you have Firefly, it's up to you as you don't need her at all. If you're an Acheron main, yes, but optional. If you have Rappa, yes, it's a must. For boothill mains, she's not really needed, but she makes boothill a lot smoother. Overall, I would rate her a 10 out of 10 for Rappa. For out of 10 for Firefly because you don't need her at all unless you don't want to use HMC. 8 out of 10 for both Acheron and boothill. If you don't have these 4 DPS units, it's better for you to totally skip on Fugue. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out a ton. And that's it for this guide.